So, what questions should you be asking on a quote form when you're trying to collect information from a customer? That's a question we get asked a lot as you're looking at potentially implementing some kind of AI phone system or even improving your existing phone system. In today's video, I'm going to walk you through the exact process we've used to help increase conversions more than 60% the last 3 years at our insurance agency. So let's get started. But before we do, remember, share, like, subscribe to the channel below. So one of the questions we've been asked a lot lately is, hey, I'm asking so many questions, I'm having a big drop off with people giving me information on the quote, they're dropping off the phone. And what's happening is a lot of times what we find is people are asking unnecessary questions. What do we mean by this? Well, sometimes there's something called conditional logic. And what this means is that you'll ask a secondary question based on a primary question. I'll give you an example. If I am buying a home and I have a co-applicant, you ask me if there's a co-applicant, yes or no. If I say no, then I don't need any more questions about being a co-applicant. If I say yes, you need more questions. That's called conditional logic. Where if I've had any claims on a property and I say no, you don't need to ask me any more claims questions. But if I say yes, you do need some more details. And this is why we find a lot of people fail is they don't have conditional logic set up, whether on their website and their entire process. So what you should be doing is taking the call recordings, if you're able to record calls, and analyzing them. What questions is your team asking? Even on a form online, is your team asking conditional logic just like they are online? Are they creating the best customer experience here? So how do you do this with AI? Well, the first step is understanding what questions your team's actually asking, recording those. Using AI like a ChatGPT 03 Pro or even a Manus or Perplexity to help really analyze how you can improve that process. This is one way you can use AI on this part now. And analyzing it though, tell them you want to apply, that real simple, hey, I want to clarify the message here. I need to get this information, but I don't want to ask too many questions. My rule of thumb, usually less than 10 questions if I can. That's usually what I'm asking on online forms, and I have it step by step. It's about 10 questions. And that includes usually a name, address, and all that. And I try to get that in one step. Because what I find is if you multiply that out to too many steps, yes, you are going to lose your conversions here. And understanding this though, what you need to understand is, what's this process look like? When somebody calls in, you should be listening to your phone calls to understand what questions are being asked. How are they being asked? Are unnecessary questions being asked? And that might be not just why you're losing prospects, but why your phone calls are dropping off, why customers are not having as good of an experience. We'll call this call auditing. It's something we look at all the time. In fact, it's something I look at, especially with our AI, how our AI is asking these questions. So this is how I would look at it. If I'm implementing an AI phone system, like how do I ask the least amount of questions and still get the most amount of information? And conditional logic is one way you can do this, but understanding, is it an auto quote? Is it a home quote? And when they say that, you're asking different questions based on that. Is it for commercial? Well, commercial is a different beast. There's a lot more information that's needed. So maybe you need to get a supplemental app or something like that. So you may need a unique process for each commercial product. It absolutely could be that way. But you need to understand that with your team, whether you're using AI, a human answering the phones or whatever, you need to understand this framework in order to improve your success with conversions on your website, on your phones, whatever it is. What does this customer journey look like? And so this is where I would start with this. And doing this and implementing this, go back and listen to those phone calls, whether it's your team, whether it's your AI doing it, and go back and adjust based on this. And this is one area where you'll start to see conversions go up based on the type of questions that you're asking and getting some of that information. Also, something else that you should be asking on there, for example, let's just use this as an example. Are you a homeowner or renter? Well, knowing that you're a homeowner or renter, when you hit yes or no, whether you're a homeowner or renter, if you get a home insurance quote, of course you know you're a homeowner, right? Or maybe a potential homeowner. But guess what? The messaging is different here for a homeowner versus a potential homeowner. It could be someone who currently has insurance, is looking for a better rate. Or a potential homeowner could be someone, hey, I want to know what the risks are before I go and buy this. Is there something I need to know about ahead of time? You see, completely different. Just like a real estate agent is a completely different market segmentation than a homeowner. And you've got to understand it in your messaging. But when we're asking these questions and we're getting these forms filled out, if we're asking the questions the right way, we can segment the data right way, and we can create this really great customer experience because we've dialed in our audiences to micro audiences. And when we have micro audiences, we can really clarify that message there and really create a unique customer experience. So I hope this video has been valuable on how exactly you should implement this, whether it be on AI, your regular phones, using AI to help analyze this entire situation. Okay, if you want some prompts or frameworks, click in the description of this video. If you're an insurance agent or agency owner, you can join our private community where I'll walk you through the standard operating procedures of how to actually implement this. I'm Chris with Niche Your Business. I look forward to speaking to you in our next video. And remember, it's humans with machines, not humans against machines. Thank you.